בנו חושך לגרש, בידינו אור ואש, כל אחד הוא אור קטן, וכולנו אור איתן. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Let's keep it burning, let's keep the light of hope alive, make safe our journey through the storm. Banu choshech legarash, beyadenu or va'esh, kol echad hu or katan, vekulanu or eitan. Sura choshech halashchot, sura mipnei ha'or, sura choshech halashchot, sura mipnei ha'or. One planet is turning, circle on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling her children home. Light is returning, light is returning, light is returning, light is returning.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Shabbat Shalom. I am so glad that we can be together to start our service. Delighted to be joined not only by you, but by those who are joining us online and by the amazing folks in our tech booth who can help cover for the fact that I forgot to click on the slides, if you would be so kind as to do so we can advance those into words of Hine Matov, our opening prayer. On the prayer books underneath your seats, you can find these words on page 10, or you can look at the screens before you. How good it is to be together tonight.
Together
joining us in prayer this evening. We are so delighted to have some of the young people who celebrated a bar or bat mitzvah in this last year. We are delighted to have you. You'll see them throughout our service. But if I might invite Jen and Sarah and Laura, would you join us? Come on up here. This is the easy one. We're on page 2 in your prayer books. Or again, those words can be found on the screen before you as together we kindle the lights of Shabbat, bringing some extra light, some extra warmth into a pretty cold and dark time of year. We are on page 2.
Sure do.
Thank you all so much. I'll make one of the kids do it, don't worry. Friends, the next words of prayer as we begin our service in song come from the book of Psalms. If you wish, you can follow along, toggling back and forth between pages 13 and 14 for these words from Psalm 96. Or again, we've made it a little bit easier by putting the words of prayer on the screen before you. For this next prayer, we are going to need the prayer books, for on pages 20 and 21, we find words of Lecha Dodi welcoming Shabbat into our lives. We might take this opportunity to take a deep breath, to think about the things in the week that was that we want to hold tight to as we approach our day of rest and peace. And to take this opportunity to breathe out those things we'd rather not carry with us into this most sacred time, preparing the space to allow Shabbat to enter our minds and our hearts. We're on pages 20 and 21, remaining seated for most of our prayer, rising as we get only to that final stanza, symbolically greeting Shabbat as if it entered this space with us.
Lecha
invite you to rise as is comfortable. As you are well familiar, this is the point in the service where I'm going to invite you to turn to the person beside you to wish them a Shabbat Shalom. But as usual, let me spice it up just a little bit. You can either be an applesauce person or a sour cream person. Don't tell me you're one of those people who tries to do both. I can't accept that. Nope. Into which camp do you fall? Applesauce or sour cream?
I don't think we do false binaries in this congregation, Rabbi. I do love that.
All right, friends. I see that this evening I've started a healthy debate. Fantastic. I encourage you to continue this argument just a little bit later as we join together for an oneg following our service. For now, you are welcome to be seated as we turn to page 24, having welcomed Shabbat, having welcomed one another. We turn our attention to welcoming even God's angels to celebrate Shabbat with us with words of Shalom Aleichem, page 24. As I mentioned, there are 3 young people who have celebrated their bar bat mitzvah in the past year who are going to help us lead services. Somewhat confusingly, 2 of the 3 are named Evan. So I'm going to have to get a little more specific. This Evan, would you come join us as we turn to page 26 and 27? In a moment, Evan Gilberto is going to lead us in Chatzi Kaddish. For now, as he's making his way up, would you join me in the English on the bottom of the page? Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. We're on page 26.
Yitkadol v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. Be'amad yibarach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayechon v'yomechon u'b'chayeh l'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagala u'izman ka'id v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lal le'amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal Shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'ma v'yemeru.
As Evan makes his way back to his seat but doesn't get to sit, I would invite you to rise with him as we turn to page 28 for our Baruch Hu praise. Can we read together on the top of page 31? Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. And on the bottom of page 33, as it's a pleasure to invite Ariella Riveri forward to lead us in but a moment, would you join me in the English? Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. Hey, what could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai. Just We turn now to pages 34 and 35 in our prayer books.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You are welcome to be seated as we turn the page. No. Nice try, friend.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך ושרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם.
And we turn in our prayer books now to page 40, there finding words of Mi Chamocha, our praise, our reminder of our history and our obligation in this world. Page 40. Day 442 of the war in Israel, we continue to add our thoughts and prayers for those whose lives have been upended with words of Hashkivenu on page 42 in your prayer book or again on the screens before you. We pray that a sense of peace and safety be spread over all in need in this world. 442 days into a war that has reshaped so much of the Middle East. So much of Iranian influence in Syria, in Lebanon, in Gaza has waned. And yet, for those still waiting for the hostages to be returned, it is hard to celebrate what feel like small and hollow victories. For in the words of Hannah Yerushalmi, we're still waiting, even now. We are waiting, chanting through these verses all about this waiting, for an angel to intervene, for a famine to pass, for waters to part, for the manna to appear, for the leprosy, my typo, not hers, to clear. But there is no waiting like this waiting, an ancient trope with no cantillation marks, chanted with furious longing for too many Shabbatot. Bring them home now. For the 24 or 25 hours of Shabbat, we turn from the concerns of this world into that which gives us rest and rejuvenation, that which allows us to hold on each and every week as we prepare for the weeks ahead. We turn to page 42, grabbing on to the anchor that is Shabbat with words of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat,
Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam. et yamin asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat Shabbat vayinafash. In the moments when a young person is up here celebrating their bar or bat mitzvah, I will often tease with them, see, this isn't so hard as you get settled into it, and the best part as you continue to go on throughout service leadership, really all you have to do is call page numbers, and Cantor Calix does the rest. It turns out I'm not even good at page numbers. I think we're on page 46. And I think I'm supposed to invite Evan Young forward to help us lead that, so I can't screw that part up. 46 is the right page?
It is.
All right, fantastic. Friends, would you rise as together we join in prayer as we join in our Amidah beginning on page 46. Go for it.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufiyah Ki Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Yula Livnei V'Nechem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayecha Kol Atara Ve'Hoshia, Moshifa Ruach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkeh Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayecha Kol Be'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Nofli V'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mechayed Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, U'Mido Melech, Melech Me'mid U'Mechayed, U'Matmiya Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atalecha Hayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayed HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Well done, sir. Thank you. We continue with the words of prayer found through page 60 in your prayer book, or with the silent prayers and meditations that can only come from our hearts. When you have finished your silent prayer this evening, if you are standing, we invite you to be seated. With beauty and wholeness and peace in our hearts, we turn in our prayer book to page 253. There, finding words of Mishaberach Lecholim, our prayer for those who are ill in this world, suffering from ailments of mind, of body, of spirit. If you would like to share aloud the names of those of whom you are thinking, that we might ask a prayer of healing, that we might concert our healing actions on their behalf, we invite you to do so at this time.
Diane Smith. Harold Levin, Ben Krebitz, and Ken Krebitz.
Steve.
Francis Williams, John Paul Mahofsky.
Rita Eisenstein, Irv Eisenstein, and Lisa Scott.
Nasha Shahar, Lee Weiss. Nasha Feigenbaum. Marsha Littman Green.
Rebecca Russell.
Natalie Trachtenberg, Wendy and Jody Ellis.
Toby Mills, Sally, and Jerry.
People of Israel, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and Ukraine.
Corinne Nazarov, Paula Zanotti, and Sam Levine. Tony Breslin.
Diane Clark.
Barry Weiss.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh Cholim, blessed are you, God, who brings a measure of comfort to all who are ill. Page 253. We are a people who reads the same Torah portion week after week after week, finding new meaning in the same stories, even if you know the story. My guess, when I share this midrash, one of the most famous, you will have heard the story before, but I'm hoping there might be new insight this evening. Once, it is told in the Talmud, in ancient Jerusalem, a wealthy man had prepared a very great feast and sent his servant forward to invite his friend, whose name was Chamsa, to come join him at that feast. The servant, however, goofed, made a mistake. It's an easy one to make, and invited his mortal enemy, Bar Chamsa, instead of Chamsa, to come join him at this feast. Believing that this was an olive branch being extended by the wealthy man, Bar Chamsa was all too happy to attend the banquet. But when the host saw Bar Hamsa at his feast, his face darkened with anger. He demanded that his mortal enemy immediately leave. Embarrassed and humiliated in front of the other guests, Bar Hamsa said, "If only you'll let me stay, I'll pay for my meal. Don't embarrass me and send me forward from this place." The host of the party refused. He wasn't willing to do even that. Desperate to avoid the public shame, Bar Hamsa said, "I will pay for half of this banquet if you don't embarrass me by asking me to leave." The host was unwilling to do even that in his anger at Bar Hamsa. Bar Hamsa said, "If you'll let me stay, I will pay for the entirety of this banquet that you have thrown to avoid the shame." But the host, in his remarkable anger, had Bar Hamsa forcibly removed. He was, as you might imagine, hurt and embarrassed by that humiliation. And Bar Hamsa sought revenge, not just on his host, but on the entirety of Jerusalem, who had witnessed his disgrace and who had chosen to remain silent. He devised a plan to bring about their downfall, and according to Jewish tradition, he succeeded in grand fashion, causing the Roman emperor to destroy the Second Temple. Effectively, we might say, cutting off his nose to spite his face. This story is told time and again in Jewish tradition as a reminder to be on guard against baseless hatred, against the kind of overwhelming anger that can cause us to do really, really, really stupid things. If only time worked differently, and Joseph's brothers could have heard this story again and again. For their story and their actions in this week's Torah portion is yet another example of how destructive hatred can be. Vayeshev begins by saying, and I quote, "Israel loved Joseph best of all of his sons," and that, quote, "when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of his brothers, they hated him so much that they couldn't speak a friendly word to him." In Torah study tomorrow, we're going to pull apart this concept, and I hope you'll join us at 9 o'clock. But for tonight, let's take this verse at face value. The brothers hated him so much they couldn't say anything nice to him at all. Joseph's brothers hated him, just as the host hated Bar Hamsa, who was inadvertently invited to his party, and just as Bar Hamsa in turn came to hate his host. And each of them proceeded to act in spite and anger and violence. How often can we fall into the very same trap, acting impulsively when scorned in a way that we wouldn't if we took a moment to recognize our highest values? I hope and trust that everyone here and everyone at home is better than I am. But with some self-reflection, I find myself doing things like this all of the time. And it turns out we're entering a time that's going to hold a few tests for all of us. There is tremendous beauty in our Hanukkah and holiday celebrations with the family we might love the most, the same family who can push our buttons like no other. Last-minute gift shopping at the mall or the grocery store checkout line reveals that the holiday spirit isn't exactly as they portray it in Hallmark movies. And winter breaks from school and from work and from our ordinary routines cause their own sort of friction as we accept and embrace new patterns. I dare say, unless you are extraordinarily lucky, you're going to have a moment over the next couple of weeks, the feeling of maybe wanting to toss a stranger or a loved one into a pit just to get them away from you. Okay, maybe especially a loved one. And you're going to want to act in retaliation for a perceived slight. These stories remind us that it won't make things better. It never makes things better. even though the urge is going to be strong. Take a breath. Walk away. Take a beat. Joseph's brothers couldn't do that, and they were made to regret their actions. Bar Hamza couldn't do that and brought the whole house down around him. Those regrets and the shame and the repercussions of the anger lasted far longer than that temporary anger itself, as it made our ancestors do something foolish. So take a breath. Take a beat. Walk away so that you don't share the same fate as those in our stories. Maybe this time, perhaps, we can listen. Shabbat Shalom. I invite you now to turn back in your prayer book to page 282. There we find words of Aleinu L'Shabeach. Evan, Gilberto, are you again willing to join us, to lead us in prayer, as on the bottom of page 282, we might open the ark and invite you to rise as you are able, as together we join in prayer.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teit gidula liyotzeh bereshit shelo asanu k'loyei haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam halkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu v'chol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech al chol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
You are welcome to be seated. As we turn in our prayer book to page 294, we find words of Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's prayer, remembering those who have come before us. In this time in our service, we think of Michael Cates, for whom we are in the period of Shloshim, and we mark the Yartzeit, the commemoration of the passing of Dorothy Burles and Yetta Kaplan, Nathan Cohen, and Sylvia Kramer, John C. Doherty, Ruth Gans Fargostein, Harold Feldman, Minnie Fine, Bernice Frank, Marilyn Freed, Howard Frumkin, Minnie Glazer, Gary Gold, Norman Gordon, Gutla Gorecki, Melva R. Hirschfield, Sarah Hurwitz, Eva Eisenberg, Jay Keisler, Leon Katzman, Alvin Lichtenstuhl, Beatrice Miller, Fred Morgan, Lena Moss, Jerome Myers, Abraham Neiman, Barbara S. Pace, Arthur Perlmutter, Albert Phillips, Dr. Samuel Raphael, Edward M. Resnick, Bernard Rodney, Daniel Rubin, Samuel Seidenfeld, Marshall Spokane, Robert Trachtenberg, David Ira Trotsky, Stephen Wolkoff, and Sidney Wolkoff. If there are others whom you are remembering this Shabbat, or if I have inadvertently mispronounced the name of a loved one, I would invite you to share their name at this time.
Mother, Daniel, and Tim. Rosiner Statsinger.
We hold them in our hearts with our own as we invite those who mourn to rise and everyone to rise alongside them as you are able in sympathy and solidarity and support. As we turn to page 294 and affirm their words of Kaddish Yatom. Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'Yamlich Malchutei B'Chaye Chon V'Yomei Chon U'Chaye D'Chol Beit Yisrael Ba'Gala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam U'Lamei Almaya Yitvarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh V'Yithadar V'Yit'aleh V'Yithalal Shemei D'Kudisha B'Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechamata Damiran Be'alma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Osei Shalom Mimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. May God, who makes peace in the highest of heavens, make peace for us and for all who mourn. And together we say, Amen. You are welcome to be seated. A tremendous thank you to our service leaders tonight who have joined us, and you'll get to see them one last time as we join in Kiddush and Motzi in but a few moments. I thank you as well to everyone who has joined us in this service in person as well as online. It is a delight to celebrate Shabbat with each of you. Immediately following our service, we invite you to join us just outside of these doors for a nosh, for a chance to continue that applesauce versus sour cream debate and to pick a fight with those who seem to think the two mingle well together. I don't know about you guys. They're here. They exist. I can't explain it either. Friends, I invite you to turn in your prayer book now to page 330, where we find words of Ki Eshmera Shabbat, a recognition of the sanctity of this day that holds us just as we hold it. I invite you to turn back to page 5 in your prayer book. We're not doing it again. Don't worry. We just need to find the prayer, recognizing the sweetness of Shabbat, the joy of creation, the exodus from Egypt. One last excuse to get Ariella and Evan back up here, that we might join together in words of Kiddush. If it is comfortable for you to do so, I invite you to rise. Come on up here, friends. That is page 5 in our prayer book. If you have an extra hand, you are welcome to this cup of juice. Dun, 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 dun. Page 5, we join together. Baruch atah Adonai.
Asher
Tech support, Eli. Your time has come, man. Thank you for waiting patiently. We join together in our blessing over, hold on to that, our blessing over bread and our material well-being before it lands on the floor. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Do you want to tear off a little piece? You're welcome to. Shabbat Shalom. You guys rock. Very well done.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.